Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here.
Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel, Jane Lorenzo.
Wait, what did you say?
Jane Lorenzo.
Have a good one.
You guys better subscribe and watch my friend on his YouTube channel. He is kicking ass.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring another video talking about this week's episode of Z Nation on Syfy, which is episode 6 of season 5, called Limbo. Addie's back, finally, holy shit. So yeah, I had a pretty eventful day, ironically, with that little intro I did there. Before we talk about the episode, which is a pretty good one, by the way, I did want to say I'll be doing a whole video on this within the next couple days, but I went to Grand Rapids Comic Con again this year, third year in a row. I met Russell Hodgkins and Doc there a couple of years ago in 2016, and this year I got to meet Anastasia Baranova, who of course is Addie Addison Carver, who's been my favorite character on Z Nation for a long time, ever since season 1, along with Murphy, which she was very mixed on. I do have a digital download photo op, but that should be coming in on Monday or Tuesday, I was told. Do have the prints though, and it turned out pretty nice. But I will post a whole video on that later so you can see them then. But I did want to just talk about this briefly in this video for this week as well. She's just very, very cool in person. I swear the Z Nation cast, they're some of the absolute nicest people I've met. You know I've just met Addie and Doc, but from just them and the stories they tell and how they come off from their experience on the show, they're all just really nice, humble, down to earth, like ready and energetic to talk about it. I also talked to her about Drake and Josh and her kind of brief role in a Sons of Anarchy episode, things like that. And yeah, she's just really awesome to me, definitely living up to how I imagined her, and still feeling like a real person, of course. And yeah. So yeah, this week's episode, Limbo, I was pretty hyped for. I know I've been kind of scattered, a bit spotty with my Z Nation videos, but I still do want to get back to it, when I can, or where there's a significant episode like this one, for one specific reason, and it's because we see the return of Addie after, quite a while, since the beginning of season 4, I believe, is when we last really seen her. I mean, we had this tease last week of, the Z-Whacker, going through the grass and everything, which is awesome. But they reunite with him. They found out that Addie's been the one delivering the talkers, to Limbo, and it was funny, both Murphy and Addie were unaware that Murphy was running and unaware that Addie was the one driving the truck, at least part of the time. But Addie, more so, she wasn't quite as involved with the operation, more so just sort of having the truck and them, her deciding to help. But we find out she cares a little bit more than she lets on at first, with already knowing Dante and stuff like that, who we find out is pretty much for sure at least innocent of the bombing at this point. We'll see how the rest of that plays out. At first I thought they were going to kind of force like a romantic angle between Addie and Dante, but I'm glad they didn't do that, because Dante still has his wife and everything. I don't think they need that with Addie again. Although I feel like it would be nice for Addie to find happiness eventually. But she seems sort of at a middle, kind of an odd, unfortunate middle ground at this point with herself. She's there, but she's not. It was a really well acted scene from Anastasia, though, from and I'll admit, I called her Anastasia, which I kind of feel weird about now. I don't know. But it was a pretty well acted scene, at the bar with her talking about how she, sort of felt when Lucy went, even though she wasn't there. They still had that, connection similar to her and Murphy, and that's how Murphy had sensed Addie in this episode. which I thought was pretty cool, and again, a pretty nice performance there. But then they're on edge with each other because they sort of have not different views on the talkers, but sort of different, more direct goals or less direct goals between her and Warren and everything. So I hope they don't end up on like strictly opposite sides, because Addie and George clashed a little bit, and it was funny to see Addie sort of drunk and buzzed, kind of swiping Z-Racker around with a bunch of Z's around her. They better not kill Addie off, I swear. Please don't sacrifice Addie for George. I think George is a fine, alright addition, but please, Addie. And Murphy is really playing off the whole devil Lucifer type of look this season as well. And he's sort of running his own thing, and I liked sort of him and George's connection that they surprisingly established. George sort of seeing right away he sort of feels lost, and this is something that sort of drives him into something that he can care for, he gets attached to. Murphy doesn't really like to say it, that sort of mushy-gushy type of way, but it seemed to hit some kind of nerve with Murphy, at least. It's good to see Murphy not becoming a full-on villain. He's not like crazy with power again. He's just sort of kind of just being there, just sort of taking everything in and enjoying what he has, but he's not like going full-on villain like he did in Murphy Town Season 3. So I think that's a good balance there, because I think him and Warren really reached a great understanding back in Season 4. But yeah, so overall this is a pretty good episode. I mean, we had some fun antics with Doc and Murphy as well. It's good to see them. I think they could even do an episode by themselves, just like Doc and Murphy lost somewhere just on their own, because Keith Allen and Russell Hodgkins are just so great together. They've always had this sort of that buddy relationship in the show, even when Doc tells Murphy what a jackass he's being, which they sort of addressed in this episode too. Murphy doesn't really deny it when it comes from Doc. So yeah, besides Addie though, I'll say it was a pretty average episode maybe, although it was good they finally found Dante and stuff like that. It looks like Addie's going to be in the next episode at least, which is good, and Varanova did say at her panel today that 8's a pretty good one to look out for, and Addie will sort of be scattered throughout the rest of the season now. Might miss a couple more episodes in the season, but she's still out there and back now, so that's good. So yeah, let me guys talk about this one. Overall I'm rating about an 8.5, maybe 8.6 out of 10. Let me know you guys thought. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.